So now you have your account and are ready to create your first glog. But are you? This tutorial will introduce you to Glogster by demonstrating how to create a digital poster that replaces a book talk. The poster will contain, among other things, text boxes, images, as well as multimedia elements. Click the green button that says Create New Glog when you are ready to get started. I bet this is not what you expected to see next. You probably thought you would see the various online tools that come with Glogster. And if you did it on your own account, that's exactly what would happen. There's an old saying that goes, well started is half finished. And that applies to just about every job, including Glogster. Before starting out in that digital environment, it's wise to scope out what you have in mind using tools you are comfortable with. In my case, it's pencil and paper. That's my notebook, and I scribbled what I plan to put on my poster. There will be a title. There will be text boxes for information on the author, book references, a plot summary, some background on 2 literary elements I thought were relevant, and a personal response. I was going to include a text box listing awards, but I thought the better of it, as you can see, and instead chose to use a piece on how this can be used in the classroom. I also thought a few graphical items would be helpful. The book cover, and pictures of a pillow, a desk, and a tornado, since all 3 have deep symbolic meanings to the story. Finally, I decided to include a video of the author receiving one of the awards they earned for the book. Frankly, because I wanted to make sure you knew how to do it. That's a lot of items, a fair bit of writing to do, even before any work gets done on the glog inside of the Glogster tool. There's no way I'm doing any amount of writing outside of a decent tool designed just for that purpose. I like Word for individual projects and Google Docs for group work. I am sure you have your preferences too, and I encourage you to do your preparatory work there. As you can see, I assembled the material for all of the aforementioned text items in this Word doc and will paste them into text boxes rather than trying to compose them there. Let's call that done. It's most of the work, actually. Now, let's go to where Glogster really takes you when you click on that green button. With the planning and preparatory work done, which is the biggest part, there are loads of pre-existing templates you can use, but I prefer to start with a blank slate. I'm going with a blank landscape canvas and clicking there. And this is the working area. As you would expect, the tools are at the top, and the mostly gray area below is the space that will become the glog. Let's choose a background first. Think of a glog as a wall to which you would affix all of your items. The background is therefore referred to as the wall. Find that tool on the list and click it to continue. You can go with your own image if you like and use it for your background. I will choose from the ones that are supplied with the program. Click Gallery to see what's available. I already took a look and liked one of the items in the biology section of all places. I will choose that one. This is the one I liked because the grass reminded me of the fields from the book. I will choose it. And you can see it now on the canvas. The wall is in place. I will choose Close to finish this step. Now, let's add all of the text boxes. Have a look at the toolbar. Which item do you think is the right one? If you picked text, you would be correct. Click it to continue. And now, the drop-down shows we have a lot of options for text boxes, all sorted by theme. Among others, you can see ones for art, biology, and history, for example. At this time, We are getting the title on the glog, so I will use the heading style. And an empty text box appears. I will click on the T icon here to start entering the text. And now I will type the text. I will select this and delete it first. Alright, it's there, but you can't see it very well. I had better resize this so you can see all of the title. Fine. Now let's put in an empty text box. Go ahead and click on Text to start again. There are quite a few options available, but I think I will stick with the one labeled Biology. And I will click to choose this particular text box. You might like to browse around a little and see what is available before making your choice. I click the green button when I am ready. And here it is. Yes, it is kind of gaudy. If you have second thoughts once you choose yours, you can click here and choose a different decorator. If you do, you will get more choices. I will leave it as is, at least for now. To add text to the box, either double-click inside the text box or click the letter T as shown by the arrow. I will do that in a few seconds. For now, I am going to quickly add the rest of the text boxes. There are 6 more. Instead of repeating the process like I just did, I will instead click 6 times on the duplicate button that the arrow is pointing to. Here goes. And now you can see them appear one after the other as I click that button. Now, I will move them more or less where they need to be. I just click once in the text area and then drag and drop. Remember the hand drawing from my notebook? I'm referring to that as I drag them around. I know things are looking rather crowded, but I will resize them a little later on to make room for the other elements that need to be there as well. Now, let's get the text in the text boxes. I will use copy and paste for that. I will start with the book reference. I will copy it and then go back to Glogster. I will select the correct text box and then click the letter T to begin entering the text. I simply paste it using Ctrl V for Windows or Command V for Mac. I want the top line to be bold, so I select it and then click B to make it bold. Let's do the same for the plot summary. Copy from Word, back to Glogster. I click T and then paste the text. I select the top line and make it bold, and done. To save time, I will stop recording and simply do the rest offline. And just like that, the rest are done. Looks like we have a problem. You can't read the text in the bottom there. I click here to choose a different type of text box. I will look in the folder called Paper. I'm looking for one with a solid background. And I will choose this one. I will pause the recording and do the same for the other two. Alright, that's a little better. The text in the boxes at the bottom is larger than I would like. I will make it smaller. I will start with this one. I have selected all of the text in the text box, and now I will click the drop down to choose a smaller font size. The text was 19 point. I will try 14 instead. Yes, that looks more like the text in the boxes above it. And once again, I will pause recording and fix the other two the same way. Okay, done. I'll scroll back to the top. Now, let's add an image showing the book cover. I click the Image tool to start. The drop-down would show a preview of images I have already uploaded. Since this is my first ever image, I will click the plus sign to upload a picture of the cover that I have already saved to my computer. There it is. I will select it and click Open. I will post it here. Notice there are many other things I can do with the image. I can resize, rotate, crop, and flip the image if I wish to. I can even add a hyperlink to the image. Let me show you how. First, I open the site for the hyperlink in a different tab. In this case, it's the Goodreads entry for this book. And copy the URL to the clipboard. Now I go back to Glogster and click the hyperlink tool for the image. I paste the URL into the box and click Done. That's it. This little green box lets me know there's a hyperlink on the image. When the glog is finished, the viewer will see the image change when they hover over it, showing that there's a hyperlink there. If they click it, the link will open in a new tab. Now let's insert a video from YouTube. We will switch to a new browser tab to locate one. Here's a video of the author receiving an award for the book. We will select the URL and copy it to the clipboard using Ctrl-C or Command-C. Now, we switch back to Glogster. Look at the tool menu. Which item do you think we should use next? It's the video menu. Go ahead and click it to continue. On the submenu that pops up, I click the plus sign to add a new video. Several options appear. You can upload your own video if you like. In this case, since I am using URL, I will use the hyperlink icon. It's worth noting that there is a YouTube tool on this menu. I do not recommend using it as, frankly, I found it to be buggy. There's now a box into which I can paste the URL I just copied. And I paste it using Ctrl-V or Command-V as appropriate. And I click the green Add Link button to finish. And there's the video. I'll resize it and put it in place a little better. Alright, that's just about everything done. It's all kind of crowded though, isn't it? So let's resize them and try to make this fit a little better. I think that'll do. Glogster auto-saves your work, but gives it a generic name. Let's do a save and give it a more descriptive file name. Have a look at the toolbar and locate the Save icon. It's up there, top Right. Go ahead and click it to continue. We will give it a more descriptive name. Next, we will choose the Category drop-down menu and choose Education in this case. We can pick one or more grade levels if we want to. Now, I will choose Finished. It's very important to get what this means here. When it's set to Finished, the glog becomes visible to others in our organization and is able to be shared with anyone via its URL. This does not mean it's locked for future editing. You can always edit it to add something or correct any mistakes you find later. Once again, Finished means it can be shared with others. And we click Save to move on. Notice that we have the option to share at this point. Let's choose Preview instead. And this is how it looks to others. We can share it from here. I'll scroll back to the top, and the hyperlinks also work. If, for example, I click on the image of the book, then it opens the link in a new window. Let's go back to the Glogster tab. One more thing that is worth mentioning. If you have anything else you would like to add to the glog, but find that it doesn't quite fit with what you have seen so far, then you can add it as an attachment. It appears in the little paper clip you may have noticed at the top right on the glog. You do this from the Data tool on the toolbar. I will now click it. A pop-up appears. You click the plus sign to add as many attachments as you like. These can be anything, but the most common files I have seen are PDFs, Word documents, and slide decks. The last thing I'd like to show you is how to share your glog with others. I'll start from the dashboard and will open the glog by clicking on the title link. The URL here is a public link, so we can use it. So, all I have to do is select it and copy it. I can then paste it anywhere I want, on a social media post, in an email, in a discussion forum posting, or even as a direct message. Note that if your course requires a Brightspace Dropbox submission, it might be easiest to paste the link in a blank document and post the document to the Dropbox. And that's it. Feel free to play around with the tools by creating a throwaway glog first. The one big takeaway I'd like to leave you with is that for any glog that you are asked to prepare for classwork, that you devote your major effort to the planning. Sketch out the design and prepare an outline. With that done, assemble all the bits, text, images, videos, links, and such before using the Glogster tool. And with that done, you'll find it very quick and easy to get the rest done.